Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 126-110 win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the bottom seed teams in the Eastern Conference, 8-25. We can't weigh too heavily on this game, but it was a solid win for the Raptors. You know, the Cavs still, despite their struggles, they still have some solid players. You know, they got some decent young guys, but this was definitely a game we should have won going in, and we did win from start to the finish. You know, the Jordan Clarkson, a few guys on their team had some good games, but regardless, it looked like the Raptors had this one in the bag most of the game, and we'll just get into the players. You know, it's a breakdown. We expected to beat the Cavs, and the player that really played best, Kawhi Leonard. It's usually the case. He had 37 points, 12 of 16 shooting, 6 rebounds, a steal. Kawhi's out here on a night-to-night basis, making it look super easy. He had 37 points tonight. You watch this game, it looks like he's not even trying. You know, you see a lot of players, a lot of star players, when they have big nights, you know, they're shooting a lot of shots, they have the ball in their hands most of the game. They have to be going all out 24/7 to have a night like this. And the thing about Kawhi, obviously he's playing 100%, trying his best. He's not being lax or anything like that, but he gets everything within the flow of the offense. It never looks like he's trying to take control and take away from other players. If they weren't showing and saying his points, you know, the broadcast and all that, and I didn't have the box score open, you wouldn't have known Kawhi had 37 points, but he did. He's an absolute superstar. He's a true NBA superstar. He's doing it. I can't believe he's on the Raptors. Absolute monster. I talk about Kawhi pretty well every night. There's not much more to say that's already been said. Hopefully he continues to keep it up and do it in the playoffs. And obviously it's just a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers midway through the season, but great game from Kawhi tonight. But the player I was most impressed with, you know, the player that I was most happy to see have a really good game tonight is OG Anunoby. We've seen OG looks like throughout this whole year has looked like an improved player. He looks more confident in his handle at times. You know, he's doing a lot of things that he wasn't capable of doing last year. You know, he's only shown it in flashes. Obviously, he's been a bit out of it in games. I've mentioned it on a few podcasts how he's struggling, but it's not really from lack of trying. It's more so just a lack of engagement. You know, he looks a bit zoned out on the court, and that's 100% fair with all that's been going on these past couple months with him. So tonight was a really great game, and I mentioned it last podcast. He didn't have the greatest game box score-wise. I'm pretty sure he only had 8 points, but he looked very comfortable against the Pacers. You know, he's making confident drives, his three-point shots, he wasn't hesitating or anything like that. And tonight it came, I know we're only playing the Cavs, I'm going to probably keep saying that, but he played phenomenal. That comfort level translated into a huge game for OG, 21 points, 8 rebounds, and lockdown defense. This is what I've wanted to see out of OG since we've seen him last season, and this is the player I thought, maybe not 21 points a night, but this sort of confidence and comfort on the court. We want OG to look comfortable on the court because we don't necessarily need him to have a big night scoring-wise every night, but when he's comfortable, he's a threat from the three-point line, he's a threat to drive, his handle's drastically improved. Even in games where he hasn't been the best, his handle looks a lot tighter than last season. So it's really nice to see OG have a couple really games where he looks comfortable again. Because when he's comfortable on the court, the Raptors are going to do phenomenal things. So hopefully this continues throughout the regular season. You know, as time goes on, I believe OG's only going to get better as the season progresses. So happy for OG tonight. And the other guy that I was really happy to see, Norman Powell. Norman Powell, only 11 points, which is still a very solid game. 3 assists, 3 rebounds. The thing about Norm, he's a phenomenal athlete. He can get to the rim at will. You know, he never has trouble beating the first or second defender and getting to the rim. He has trouble finishing at times, but getting there is the hard part. Finishing should be the easy part, but that's where Norm struggles at times. He's a phenomenal defender. He has the long arms. He's a physical specimen. That's why I'm so high on Norman Powell. And, you know, people kind of flame me for saying that I like Norm's ceiling more than DeLon's, and, you know, maybe Norm could be the guy. But I'm so high on Norman Powell because he has this potential to be really good. But the thing about Norm and why he struggled at times this season and last is he plays a bit out of control. He does some dumb things on the court. You know, he tries to prove himself a bit too much. And tonight may have been one of the best games I've seen from Norm in a while. He's been better this season. You know, when he's played before this injury he sustained, you know, that kept him out for about a month, he was looking a bit more comfortable, a bit more relaxed and stuff, but not fully where we want him to be, but still better than last year. This game tonight was the best game I've seen from him all year at making those decisions, not doing anything stupid. You know, Norm picked his spots. He didn't force the game. When he saw a lane, he took it. He finished around the rim, and he didn't look out of control. Similar in the fashion of OG. When Norman Powell is playing under control, confident in the fact that he'll get the ball, not having to force the issue every possession he touches it to prove himself or whatever. Norm can be a phenomenal player, in my opinion. He's got all the physical tools. He's got the basketball skills. If he can just play like he did tonight, his slashing ability will open everything up for other players, and it'd be a huge plus for our bench. Obviously, CJ Miles has been struggling, and Norm plays the same position. He can fill in those same roles, so hopefully he can play with this confident decision-making, not doing dumb stuff, because Norm is a talented player. If he does this on a night-to-night basis, the Raptors are going to be nasty. Other players that played well, Fred VanVleet. I don't want to jinx him, but it looks like he's out of that funk that he was in for maybe a couple weeks, and I think a large part of that was due to some injuries that he sustained, some nagging stuff, because the past 5-6 games he's been awesome. Last game it wasn't the greatest shooting night, but he hit those clutch shots, had that confidence. Tonight, 14 and 8, 6 of 10 shooting, doing exactly what we need, 5 rebounds as well. He looks like a starting point guard in the NBA. He looks like a capable starting point guard, and obviously he's not with Kyle Lowry on this team. He's not going to start on a consistent night-to-night basis, but he looks like steady Freddie from last season. That's all we can really ask, because he was 6th Man of the Year candidate. Absolute beast. Shout out to Fred VanVleet. Love that he's been back and broke out of his funk. And Pascal Siakam, not the greatest shooting night tonight, but hit a couple threes. That's always exciting. 15 points, 10 rebounds, and he was playing with that energy. Pascal on a night-to-night basis comes out, regardless if the shots are falling or anything like that. He plays 120% every night. 5 offensive rebounds for him tonight. Just Pascal Siakam things, despite the fact that the finishes around the rim weren't really going on a consistent basis, but Still awesome game. DeLon Wright as the starting 2. Nothing too outstanding, but had some nice drives. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Solid player, CJ Miles struggled. Greg Monroe's been doing a great job with Jonas and Serge Ibaka out. Didn't get the start tonight. We ran the extremely small ball unit, but when he came in, he got his shots around the rim. Greg Monroe just comes in the game and is ready to play. And Lorenzo Brown. People trash on Lorenzo Brown, and I've trashed on him as well on the offensive side of things, but his defense is absolutely ridiculous. He's a very, I mentioned this on the last podcast, he's a real legit NBA defender. He can lock down other teams' players. Lorenzo, he gets some flack. He's very inconsistent on the offensive end, but if he could just have a decently, mildly reliable jumper or finish around the rim, maybe, not try and dunk on Miles Turner with Danny Green open in the corner. Shout out to last game, but if he can just do those things, be a capable, not a negative on the offensive end, he might get some minutes on a consistent basis for this team. Now, it's a huge thing for him to change his game to be consistent on the offensive end, and that's going to be needed an improvement for him, but defensively, he's legit. He guards, regardless of where the offensive ball handler is, as long as they're in the front court, he's all up in their face. They don't get by him. He had 3 steals tonight. He's very active defensively, and we have so many defenders on this team. It'd be tough to, say that he'd be in our top 5 defensive unit. When we have Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, OG, Serge, and those guys out there. But he's making his case. Even Norm's a phenomenal defender. He's making his case for getting minutes. And if you're an NBA player, you're in the deep bench. Well, not even NBA player. If you're a high school basketball player, middle school player, play whatever you play, intramural basketball, whatever you play. If you play defense, your coach is going to throw you in there. And, he's earning minutes for himself. And hopefully he doesn't make us Raptors fans or people watching the game really sad by missing open shots. But he's going to earn minutes, and we can't hate on him for when he goes out there because he's earning it on the defensive end. I got to give Lorenzo Brown credit. I got to give him credit. He continues to fight despite offensive struggles. So shout out to my guy Lorenzo. But we're going to swing it straight into the segments. And tonight, the Kawhi You Do Him Like That play of the day. It's going to OG Anunoby. OG himself came down. There's this really weird possession that the ball was going left, right, and center. Didn't look like we were going to get a good shot. The Cavs were playing pretty good defense on this one. And OG gets the ball out of a scramble, goes down the lane, and just throws down a nasty yam. Throws down a nasty dunk. So that was exciting. OG got hops. We've all seen that college dunk that he had at Indiana, so OG can get up there. Hopefully now once he gets more of a consistent handle, then he'll be able to really show off those hops. So shout out to OG, nasty yam, but not all plays can be the Kawhi You Do Him Like That play of the day. And some just make you say, oh geez. And tonight, the OG's play of the day, it's going to Pascal Siakam. Solid game for him tonight, missed a few shots, but most of his misses honestly came on this possession. He kept going. He's underneath the rim. He was throwing up the ball on the offensive end. I think he got like 4 or 5 of his own rebound and kept missing. They were contested layups. They weren't completely open. It wasn't that big of an OGs, but he missed about 4 or 5 shots right underneath the rim. Kept getting the ball, though, showing off the hustle, but just couldn't get the ball in, unfortunately. It definitely made me say, oh, geez, I wanted him to get a shot on that, but yeah. And finally, the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award. It's going to, I refrained from talking about him earlier because I didn't want to spoil the segment, but it's going to CJ Miles because CJ, what are you doing, my guy? You're out here, you're supposed to be our 3-point sniper. We don't need you to be driving in and all that. We just want you to hit open threes. And he had a couple of them completely wide open in the corner. He had all of his shots tonight, it seemed like they were uncontested. He gotta, if he wants to stay in the rotation, and with all the injuries, he's gonna be in the rotation. We don't have that many bodies, and despite his complete struggles, he's probably better than Malachi. But it's tough to watch him be out there because we know he's supposed to be supposedly a decent shooter, and he's shown it in flashes, but he can't buy a bucket for the life of him right now. He can't throw the ball in the ocean. He couldn't dunk his cookies in milk, whatever weird phrase you want to put it to, because CJ Miles really has to focus up on his 3-point shot and hit the open ones. Usually we give him a little out because he takes these dumb fadeaway shots and gets out of rhythm at first, but tonight it was all completely open threes, and he just has struggled. So honestly, Nick Nurse might have to give his minutes to Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher played not phenomenal, but he played good. He showed what he can do in the past game, and he hit a 3, so maybe he'll hit more threes than CJ, who's 0-5 tonight, only 2 points. And I really like CJ Miles. He's a really cool guy. He's cool to listen to in post-game interviews and all that sort of stuff, and I'm rooting for the guy. But unfortunately, he just hasn't given me too much to cheer for this season, and I don't want to bag on him. I'd love for CJ to just turn it around, but it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate thing, but we can't keep giving him chances if he keeps missing the shots. So let me know what you guys think of CJ Miles. Honestly, I probably know because every time I see CJ Miles in the comment section anywhere on Reddit, and it's just someone flaming him. So it's tough to back the guy right now because he's been struggling. So anyways, there's not too much to talk about from this game. The Raptors should have won. We won this game pretty handily. The Cavs stayed close, relatively close most of the game, but they didn't really have too much going. Colin Sexton, I haven't seen many Cavs games this year. I've really only watched them play against us, but Colin Sexton looked pretty good tonight. People were kind of bagging on him. J.R. Smith was saying he's trash or something like that a couple weeks ago, but he looked decent. He had 17 points. The Cavs got some solid young guys. I don't think they're complete. They're not good. Don't get me wrong, but I think they have some decent talent. Jordan Clarkson's pretty good. He had 20 points tonight, but Jordan Clarkson, last season, he had no tattoos. He's completely just didn't have anything on his body, and came back this season. He's just got sleeves. He's got his full neck covered. It's kind of jarring, in my opinion, just to go from one extreme to the other. Pretty wild. That's honestly my biggest takeaway from the Cleveland Cavaliers this season. Not their talent, nothing like that, just how different Jordan Clarkson looks. You don't even recognize him. You don't even recognize him as a player. Let me know if you think it's a good look. I don't mind the arm stuff, but the neck one. The neck one doesn't really look too nice on that. Maybe it's not finished or something like that, but yeah, it's a weird look. Pretty jarring. That's the only way to put it. I don't know. I'm rambling way too much. Actually, there's one thing I wanted to say about the Cavs. I think their pickup of Alec Burks was nice. People kind of flamed that they got rid of Korver, but I think Alec Burks is a pretty solid player. He's a few years younger, and he's an underrated NBA guy. He didn't look too bad tonight. Hit a 3. He's kind of been buried on the Utah Jazz bench last year. It's cool that they gave him a shot. Dellavedova is back in Cleveland. Can't speak, sorry. And yeah, the Cavs, they're interesting. That's the only way I could put it. They got some cool storylines. The Cavs, when they're bad, they're good at getting first-round picks. Maybe they take RJ first overall. That'd be weird, seeing RJ in a Cavs uniform, but definitely possible. Definitely a possibility. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I've rambled way too much. Let me know what you think of this game, the Raptors this season, Kawhi's big night, OG's big night. You're the best for listening this far. Check out the Twitter, the Instagram, all that cool stuff. We really appreciate you guys, and the pods are coming back on a consistent basis. Sorry this one's a bit later. I just got off a flight from Montreal to Newfoundland, so a bit jet lag, so I apologize if this podcast was a bit weird, but Raptors got the W, though. Raptors got the win. we're rocking. Big game against the Sixers tomorrow night. Hopefully it goes well. Anyways, thanks for listening. I'm signing out. Cheers.